Today's video number 2. We finna jump into goal setting. Goal setting is one of the biggest things that's got me this far. It's not something that you should take for granted. When you're goal setting, understand that you have to understand where you're going. You got to know that, all right, I have a plan. I have a set destination that I'd like, but there's a various amount of roads and there's vehicles that I can jump into that'll get me to the end goal. And so when I was putting Coke bottles on a shelf, one of the biggest things that probably got me through that was understanding that although I might be in this current position, this is not where I belong, and this is not where I will stay either. And so as I'm putting these Coke bottles up, I'm formulating a plan and a goal to hit every day to say, how do I keep my mind stimulated in the right direction? How do I figure out how to get out of this position with my mind still intact, because I was totally losing my brain. And so one of the things that I did was goal setting. Literally, I would go, I think I would clock in around like what, five? No, that's a lie. I clocked in around 6, but I had to get up to get to wherever you were going around 5 o'clock. So I get up around like 4:45, brush my teeth, do the whole morning routine, and kind of plot out my day. What was the goal for the day? You feel me? Because you couldn't just get up and then just just put up Coke, and then go home, go to sleep, play video games. Couldn't do that. To get to where you want to be, you have to do something that you've never done. And so I understood that I was in a position that I didn't want to be in, and I would have to do a little bit more work because the day was being consumed by Coke. So when I was done with Coke, I usually, as you see me right now, would go to the gym. And so I formulated a plan to every day set a goal of going to the gym, editing one video, and I think it was either 3 to 5 TikTok videos or shorts or something like that. So that was kind of like my goal, to understand how I can get myself out of this position while also not killing myself. Because when you go to the gym and you cook and you come out of work at 6 p.m. after being there for 11 hours or whatever, it's killer. And I was making chump change like $20 an hour. Or $23 an hour, or some shit like that. So to get the money that you needed to get even by on a monthly basis, you had to do overtime. And so I would try to do overtime, but then you get in trouble for doing overtime. So it's like goal setting was one of those things where it sucked. It sucked. Working for 8 to 10 hours of straight labor sucked. And if you're in that position, you will get through it. I promise you will get through it. But you have to set a goal. So where do you want to go? So write down, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? How do you want to execute? Right? And figure out the channels in which you can execute. So for me, I love making content. And if you haven't seen my content, just check out my Instagram or check out the website that's in the bio below. And you'll see I'm a content creator. I love to just make content. And it's more so branding. I like the storytelling of branding. And so I'm in this position where I can't get there, but I know it's possible because I'm good at it. So you're good at something. You who are watching this video, you are good at something, and you know you're good at it. But you're in a position where you don't know how to boost the things that you're good at to then get a revenue kickback from it or financial incentive by it. And if that's you, or even you might want to increase the amount of revenue that you're getting, because you may already started getting money. And so these videos are really just to give you my experience and document what I'm doing and how I've got to where I am and even where I'm going, because I'm just started. You know what I mean? And so back to goal setting, set your goals, set your destination, find the vehicle that's going to get you there. Hopefully it's the thing that you're good at, and then figure out ways to connect and network with people that also find value in what you do and you find value in what they do. How can you merge the two and, get money from the two of you being a partnership, right? And so goal setting is one of those things that you just have to take the time and write down. I started out writing them down. I wrote down everything I did, and I implore you to do the same. Write everything you down so you can see everything that you want down, all the ways that you can possibly get there, and even as how long it'll take to get there. Because sometimes you might think it's going to take a year, but you can realistically do it in 3 months. You just have to be decisive. And so goal setting is one of those things where once you start to figure these things out and you plot it out, try to shrink the amount of time it takes to execute on those things. I think all of the great people that we watch and we idolize or we watch for inspiration, there's one thing they're good at is being decisive and getting through the goal setting period and executing on them. Because more time than not, you'll see how big your goal is and how far your destination is and give up just because it's hard. And it gets very difficult, especially when you're not even sure what lane you want to be in. And if you're in that lane, more on that on a different video, but if you're in that lane, you should experiment. Try a lot of things, find the things that you like, find the things that you're good at, and then start to goal set on a more niche down categorized way. To conquer where you want to be and conquer goal setting in its totality, you want to have long-term goals and short-term goals, because the short-term goals stack up to then bring you to the long-term goal. You get what I mean? So make a routine that works for you. You don't need to be getting up at 5 a.m. if it doesn't work for you. You don't need to be getting up at 9 a.m. if it doesn't work for you. Find what works for you, put it in your routine, and execute on it daily. So, for instance, if you get up at 6, you go to the gym immediately. You work out for an hour and a half. You come home, or you go in the shower, you take a sauna, whatever. You get home about around 8:30. From there, you then have to clock into work, or even you have to start your job, like your entrepreneurship job, whatever vessel you built. You start doing that, and you're creating blocks in time to make sure that you're using your time efficiently to get to the goal that you want. So maybe if you're a content creator, maybe it's making a video a day. That's what I'm doing right now. It's a part of my schedule. I'm going to make this video, post it, and go about the next part of my day. Maybe it's just getting through the day and cooking a meal and then going to the gym for you, because it's reverse. You have to go to the gym at night. Okay, cool. Get through it. So the more times you start to do that, if you do that on a daily basis, things start to compound. And when they compound, boy, I tell you, the compounding effect is insane, especially when you're trying to get to a destination down the road that you might perceive as being very far. It'll compound, push you down the road. You then will click find a vessel that works for you. And then next thing you know, you meet somebody at your current job, even though you're trying to get out of there. And then that same person then helps you further down the road, because now they're advantageous to your life and they provide benefits, or they give you a networking connection that then boosted your business in a different way. So goal setting is one of those things that you can't take for granted, and you have to be very detail oriented by it, but then execute on the daily to make sure that your stuff starts to compound. As it compounds, you then will start to see a return on your investment and all the time that you're putting out into goal setting. So no matter what field you're in, no matter what stage you are in your entrepreneurship life, no matter what stage you are in just life in general, goal set everything, and compound interest will take you down the road to your destination, as long as you're doing the short-term goals and stacking them on top of each other so that you can hit your long-term goals and then rinse and repeat for your bigger goals. So hopefully this helped you. I will see y'all all tomorrow.